A pleasant good evening and welcome to the Wolverena, the Turtle Creek home of the Woodland Hills Wolverines. And Woodland Hills hosts the Hempfield Spartans in the first round of the WPIAL playoffs. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you as the top-ranked and number one seeded Woodland Hills Wolverines enter the game with a record of 9-0, 7-0, the champions out of the Southeastern Conference. And again, they host the 16th seeded Hempfield Spartans. They are 3-6 on the year, 3-5, the sixth team out of the Foothills Conference. They enter the playoffs via the wild card. They come off of a 42-28 loss at Fox Chapel last week, while the Wolverines defeated rival Penn Hills 31-13 in their last regular season matchup. And Fred, as we take a look at this football game, the one thing of note for Hempfield is the fact that they have a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah, and they do, and actually they have a 1,000-yard passer in Dan Walters as well. So it gives them a dual threat coming out of that backfield. So Woodland Hills defensively really needs to be prepared.
Now, another thing that Woodland Hills needs to be prepared for is they need to make adjustments without Amon Baldwin Youngblood in the lineup. He injured an ankle a week ago, so that means Stephen Rickard's going to have to play the majority of the game at left tackle, with the exception of times where he moves to center, and then they'll bring in someone off of the bench to give Wilfred Clark a break at left guard. That's when Lamont Spratley moves over to left guard from the center spot. But, we've seen several times this year where Stephen Rickard has played so very well for Woodland Hills. I don't think that's an issue, especially considering Woodland Hills has two 1,000-yard rushers for the first time since 2001.
Yeah, and certainly the offensive line kind of is pretty much interchangeable. You have two really good backups in Thomas and Gray that can step in and fill in for whoever's out or whoever needs a break.
And again, we touched on that 1,000-yard rushers, and I don't think that's an accomplishment that you can overlook. For the first time since 2001, Woodland Hills sees both Joe Elshaw and Miles Sanders eclipse 1,000 yards in a single season. And when you can put together a season like that, you know that your offensive line is doing well, and obviously the rushing attack is something that is very, very formidable.
Yeah, it's been like that all season long, and we kind of figured that both of these guys were going to get 1,000 yards coming into the season. They just did a great job. And what I like to see from a blocking standpoint is both Joe Elshaw and Miles Sanders are willing to block for their counterpart, when the other has the ball.
Woodland Hills will be kicking off to begin this football game, left to right across your radio dial, computer screen, internet browser, or television screen. The Wolverines along the far sideline wear their home black jerseys with the turquoise numerals and the white trim, the white pants with the black trim, and the turquoise helmets with the black ears and stripes. The Hempfield Spartans wear the all-white road uniforms with the royal blue numerals and helmets. They sit along the near sideline, and we are underway in Turtle Creek, PA, as the ball bounces through the legs of the return man, Jordan Kemka, for Hempfield. He'll scoop up the football, run to the near sideline. He's shoved out of bounds, and a flag comes in as Kemka apparently was hit after stepping across the boundary along the near sideline, and that is going to cost Woodland Hills an additional 15 yards.
And that's certainly not how
after the play was over. Personal foul, defense, late hit, out of bounds, 15 yards, first down.
So it'll be first and 10 for Hempfield. Instead of from the 30-yard line, it'll be out to the 45. Fred, first of all, I didn't get the opportunity earlier. Thanks for making it back to our airwaves, at least for the first round of the WPIAL playoffs after succumbing to an injury some 9 days ago.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be back. I'm glad I can be back. Just don't know how long I'm going to be back for, though.
And the Hempfield Spartans go to the ground on the first play of the football game. A rush to the near sideline. The ball carrier, Don Washington, and he is brought down by a pair of Woodland Hills defensive linemen. In on the tackle, Tyrell Barlow, and a couple of other defensive linemen in on the stop as well. Shotgun formation this time for the Hempfield Spartans. Daniel Walters is the quarterback. Again, the tailback, Don Washington. Trips to the right, one receiver to the near side, left, second down and 10 for the Hempfield Spartans with the ball at their own 45. Play action, and a sack there by Damon Johnson as Walters was looking right the whole way. A delayed blitz by Johnson, And a loss of 8 on that play brings up 3rd down and 18.
Yeah, I'm not sure if DeMond Johnson saw the hole and just decided to knife through it and make the sack, or if that was a design delayed blitz, but it was a great job of Johnson really getting into the backfield and getting to Walters.
So 3rd down and 18 for the Hempfield Spartans. Football near the center of the field at their own 37. Play action. And again, the pressure on the quarterback, Walters. He'll escape the first wave, and the second wave will bring him down way back at the 25-yard line. The Wolverines swarming there. Credit the sack to Barlow. Also in on the stop is Wilford Clark.
Really impressive this first series for the defensive line of Woodland Hills. Really able to get to Walters every time he seemed to drop back. And these guys are really quick tonight for some strange reason, they just have a lot of extra speed.
Tyrell Barlow, he's going to see a lot of additional action with Amon Baldwin Youngblood out of the lineup. Woodland Hills will use their first time out, so we'll take this opportunity to step away. 10 minutes, 1 second remaining in a scoreless first quarter. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 4th and long for Hempfield as they'll punt it away after a Woodland Hills timeout, and it will be returned by Jamon Dunn. He'll start the return at his own 36-yard line, breaking it to the near side, picks up a huge block. Jamon Dunn along the near sideline, cutting it back across the grain, inside of the 30 to the 25, to the far side, 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown, and a big punt return starts the playoffs well for the Wolverines.
Great job of Jamon Dunn, really setting up his blockers. There was that one punishing hit around the 50 that actually took out 2 Hempfield Spartans, and once that happened, Jamon Dunn seemed to have the rest of the blockers in check, and then a couple seconds later found himself in the end zone.
So the return started at the 36-yard line, so that'll be a 64-yard punt return for a touchdown for Jamon Dunn. And in case you don't remember, Jamon Dunn started the regular season with a punt return for a touchdown the first time the Wolverines touched the football. This time, he does it to start the playoffs. And some whistles and some flags before the point after touchdown for
the
Thomas
snap.
Sullivan.
False start. Offense. 5 yards. Replay. Kick.
That'll back Woodland Hills up 5 yards, and Sullivan Foley will be forced to attempt a 26-yard PAT instead of the 21-yarder that he is accustomed to. The holder, Michael Whitehurst, returning to the lineup last week. The long snapper for 4 years has been Stephen Rickard. Good hold by Whitehurst. And the kick up by Sullivan Foley carries over the net and good. And with 9 minutes and 40 seconds to play in quarter number 1, it is Woodland Hills 7 and Hempfield 0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Wolverine fans, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Woodland Hills Football Network for complete coverage of the Wolverines all season long, including all of our video packages. Wolverines strike first on a 64-yard punt return for a touchdown by Jamon Dunn. One big block along the near sideline, and the rest was done by the short legs of Jamon Dunn, and the Wolverines lead the Hempfield Spartans 7-0 after Thomas Sullivan Foley completed the point after touchdown. One return man back deep for Hempfield. That is Don Washington. 2 up returners around the 20 as well. Sullivan Foley's kick this time carries down to around the 3-yard line where Washington will start the return for Hempfield. Has a crease through the middle for a moment, but that's closed up quickly by a host of black jerseys. At the bottom of the pile is Saeed Holt, and Holt had a great game last week, Freddie, against the Penn Hills Indians.
You kind of figured that he would. I mean, it seemed like the Penn Hills offense is kind of suited to his game, where he can be more of an active linebacker and make things happen.
So Hempfield, their second offensive drive of the football game, starts with 9 minutes and 33 seconds to play here in quarter number 1. Quarterback in the shotgun, Walters. He'll look left. He's pressured. He's flushed out of the pocket. He'll take off running, and he'll be brought down after a gain of maybe 1 yard out to the 27-yard line. Wolford Clark on the stop for Woodland Hills.
Walters wrapped up by number 54, Wolford Clark.
And it is second down and 9 for the Hempfield Spartans.
And I just noticed that Will Clark is actually playing defensive end. Typically he's a defensive tackle, but I guess with the absence of Baldwin Youngblood, they've moved him out to defensive end today.
Walters now with negative 19 yards rushing officially after picking up that 1 yard carry there. Now Washington, the ball carrier for Hempfield. He'll run it up the gut, pick up a few yards across the 30 towards the 33-yard line, where they'll mark the ball carrier down.
Good job of the offensive line of Hempfield of getting the surge against that big defensive line for Woodland Hills, picking up nice yards on second down.
6-yard gain for Washington on that carry, and it's third down and a manageable 3. And Joel Shaw breaches the neutral zone. And a first down by penalty for Hempfield.
Encroachment, defense, 5 yards. Result of the penalty, first down.
So after the penalty, it'll be first and 10 for Hempfield. The ball at their own 38-yard line. Shotgun. Ball carrier this time, the quarterback Walters. He'll run left. He'll drive his way forward out towards the 45-yard line. A pickup of about 8 yards, maybe 7 yards. And it is second down and 3 for the Hempfield Spartans.
You know, and Adam, by my count, right now Woodland Hills has 3 penalties for 25 yards. That's certainly not the way you want to start this ball game, despite having an early 7-0 lead.
Walters in the shotgun. Sidecar to his left-hand side is Don Washington. Double tights for the Spartans with receivers split to either side. High snap. QB. Walters, he's going to keep it himself. Tried to bounce it out to the left-hand side. The tackle is made by Rodney Denard. And the helmet for the QB comes off, and he's going to have to come off for a play here on third down and 1. So 2-yard pickup there for the quarterback, Daniel Walters, and it's third and 1, and in comes Justin Slawowski, 6'2" sophomore for the Hempfield Spartans. Hard count, high snap, handoff, goes to the tailback, Don Washington. He tries to bounce it right. Joel Shaw sniffs it out. A play made in the backfield shy of the 45-yard line, back at the 44. And a loss on that play of 3 brings up fourth down and 4.
And if Hempfield has learned anything from this drive, they can see that Woodland Hills is a little vulnerable in the middle. Between the 2 defensive tackles and the middle linebacker, they seem to get a good push against those guys. Why not continue to run that, at least to get the first down, and then try to open up your playbook?
So the lone return man on the first punt for Woodland Hills was Jamon Dunn. They'll send Miles Sanders back as well, as Daniel Walters will get this punt away, and it will bounce to the right sideline away from Miles Sanders, carrying out of bounds. And it'll be first and 10 for the Wolverines, the football at the 24-yard line, and it'll be our first opportunity to see the Woodland Hills offense.
Yeah, unfortunately, like you said, Adam, I missed last week's game, so I didn't get a chance to see, what Woodland Hills was able to do in terms of offense. I read the papers, I read the stats, even caught a little bit of the broadcast. And then from what I did see, they were doing great things against the Penn Hills defense, which typically is very stingy against the run.
Over 400 yards rushing last week for the Wolverines is Miles Sanders and Joel Shaw put together a fantastic performance, and Deron Cooper rushed the ball quite well for the black and turquoise as well. Twins to either side as Cooper in the shotgun, sidecar to his right is Shaw. Motion man from left to right, Miles Sanders. He'll take the handoff on the jet sweep, and he's into open territory across the 50 to the 40 to the 30 to the 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown Miles Sanders. And the first play from scrimmage is a touchdown, just like the punt return was for a TD.
I don't think Miles Sanders has had an easier run this entire season than he just had right now. Like you said, Adam, he just took the jet sweep, went from left to right, found some nice blocking on the right side, picked up a nice block by Joel Shaw, and then once he got to the second level, I mean, he was gone.
76-yard touchdown for Miles Sanders. And Thomas Sullivan-Foley will come on to attempt another point after touchdown for the Wolverines. Out of the hold of Whitehurst, and the PAT is up and good, and with 6:31 to play in quarter number one, it is Woodland Hills 14 and Hempfield 0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Follow the Woodland Hills Football Network on Twitter, twitter.com/WHFootballNet for coverage of the Wolverines all season long and through the offseason as well. Woodland Hills on top of the Hempfield Spartans 14-0. One offensive play today thus far for Woodland Hills. That a 76-yard TD for Miles Sanders as he took the handoff on the jet sweep coming from left to right. Woodland Hills has touched the football twice today, Fred. Once a 64-yard punt return for a TD for Jamon Dunn, and then the 76-yard end-around TD for Miles Sanders.
Good. With the exception of the penalties that Woodland Hills has amassed so far, you really can't ask for a better start.
The Wolverine defense has done a pretty decent job. The first drive for Penn Hills resulted in minus 20 yards. Penn Hills was able to put together a 1 first down drive on their second possession, but that was aided by a penalty by the Wolverines. And Sullivan-Foley's kick will be returned by Penn Hills around the 14-yard line. Out across the 20 to the 22-yard line. And the Hempfield Spartans will start first down and 10 with the football at their own 22-yard line.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I think right now Hempfield really needs to keep the ball in between the tackles and try to push around those big defensive linemen. They did a good job on a couple plays last series. They just really need to continue that this series as well.
So Hempfield first down and 10, the football at their own 22. High snap. Quarterback's going to keep it this time. Daniel Walters, he tries to run left. He'll cross the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or two, out to the 24-yard line, where it'll be second down and 8 for the Hempfield Spartans.
It looks like Peyton Hicks was in on the tackle on that last play. It looks like Peyton's going to get some time on defense tonight.
Hicks saw some action last week at linebacker. He's back out there again today. Trips to the left of the formation. One receiver to the far side right. Daniel Walters, the QB. Sidecar to his left-hand side is Don Washington. Pump fake. Pass to the near side. It's a jump ball. It's pulled in by Nick Shade. Rodney Denard will make the tackle, but not before Hempfield picks up a big first down along the near sideline, out across the 40 to the 42.
Great recognition by Walters to see that he had basically 2-on-1 Spartans to Wolverines down the field and made a nice pass, and Shade was able to pull in the catch.
18-yard pickup for the Spartans, and it is first and 10 for Hempfield. The first down that Hempfield has picked up offensively today. Trips right, one receiver to the near side left, sidecar to the right-hand side of Walters. Walters, he'll look right this time. The pass complete again to Shade, and Shade slides under a Wolverine. He'll pick up a first down into Woodland Hills territory before Tariq Thompson makes the tackle at the 44-yard line.
And I believe that looked like Shade was his second option. It looked like he was trying to hit the little screen out to the flats, but that wasn't open, and then set his sights on Shade and, again, delivered a nice pass, and Shade made a nice catch.
Trips left, one receiver to the far side right. First down and 10 for Hempfield, and Woodland Hills breaches the neutral zone yet again.
5 yards. First down.
And it'll be first down and 5 for Hempfield with the ball inside of the 40 at the 39-yard line.
And it looks like Hempfield's coming out with some renewed energy against this Woodland Hills defense.
Trips left as Walters motions from left to right. He'll crab to the right of the formation. Handoff will go to Washington, and Washington drives his way forward down towards the 35-yard line. They'll say he's down at the 36, and it is second down and 2 as Carlos Blanco Garcia makes the stop for the Wolverines.
Again, Hempfield's doing a great job of really running in between the tackles and trying to pick up as much yardage as they can.
Second and 2 for Hempfield. As Walters sets in the shotgun, Washington to his left-hand side, double tight end set with receivers to either side. And running to the right-hand side goes the tailback, Don Washington, and Washington will be brought down at the 35-yard line after a pickup of one. Damon Johnson on the stop for the Wolverines, and it is 3rd down and 1 for the Spartans.
And what Hempfield's doing is they're in a no-huddle offense, so they're limiting Woodland Hills in terms of substitutions that they can take during the time in between plays.
Receivers to either side, as Washington will set as the sidecar to the left of the QB. High snap, and the QB, Walters, is wrapped and brought down at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a half yard. Blanco Garcia on the stop again for the Wolverines. And it is 4th down and about a yard. Hempfield fans don't like the spot, and it seemed to be right around where the QB Walters was brought down. I'll bring out the measurement, though.
And Adam, I think if the spot is true, I think they're going to be short. It's going to be 4th and inches.
And from our vantage point, that seems to be a very accurate spot. When the quarterback Walters was brought down by Blanco Garcia, his elbow came down with the ball in his hand just inside of that 35-yard line. The officials stretch the flags, and it'll be 4th down and short.
And this next play really depends on Walters. If he can get Woodland Hills in an offside situation with his hard counts, it's already happened twice, 3 times actually today. So, it's very possible that they could pick up another 1st down via penalty.
We saw Woodland Hills, they were so disciplined against Mount Lebanon after falling victim to several hard counts against Mount Lebanon. The Wolverines, at least twice today, have been guilty of breaching the neutral zone. And the quarterback, Walters, slides through a tackle, and he picks up the 1st down inside of the 30 to the 28-yard line, a pickup on that play of 7 yards.
And I think if Walters was able to keep his feet as he came across the line of scrimmage, I think he might have been in the end zone, because it looked like the free safety came up and tried to lay the knockout blow, and it actually missed. So if Walters would have kept his feet, he probably would have scored a touchdown on that play.
Trips left, one receiver to the right-hand side. Don Washington, the setback to the left of the QB Walters. Walters pumps, then throws to the near side left. Wide open is the back out of the backfield, Isaiah DeAndrith, and he is forced out of bounds along the near boundary. Inside of the 20 at the 16-yard line, a pickup of 11 on that pass play.
And it looked like Walters initially faked it to the running back coming out of the backfield, or actually the second guy in from the trips, and Denard had good coverage, but I think he either lost sight of him or lost focus, and then Walters went right back to him.
2 receivers left, 1 receiver to the far side right. The ball is loose on the carpet. Walters is hit as he tries to cover up the football. He will cover it up, though, and you'll credit the tackle to Saeed Holt, as there is a loss on that play of about 7 yards back to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looked like Walters bobbled the snap, but once he got the ball in his possession, it looked like he turned to the opposite side of Washington, of where Washington was, and didn't have a receiver and didn't have anybody to give it to.
Trips to the right of the formation. 1 receiver to the near side left for Hempfield. Don Washington, the sidecar to the left of the quarterback, Daniel Walters. And a flag comes in, and I think this time it's going to go against Hempfield.
Good ball. Ball start. Offense. 5 yards.
So that'll back the Spartans up from the 24 back to the 29-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 22 from the 29. Just under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Woodland Hills on top of the Hempfield Spartans by 14 points. Trips right. Walters looking right the whole way. He'll throw down the right seam, and the ball is intercepted by Rodney Denard. Then he lost the football as he came down to the turf at the 2-yard line. Boy, the sophomore had the pick there, but just didn't hang on to the football when he hit the carpet.
Yeah, he had it right in his hands. It looked like he was waiting for it. He was pretty much playing center field. Had the ball right in his sights, but as that ball was getting to him, it looked like he was hit by shade and then causing it to fall to the carpet.
So after the incomplete pass, it is 3rd down and 22 for Hempfield. The ball on the left hash at the 29-yard line. The line to gain is the 7-yard line of the Wolverines. Trips to the right again. Walters, he'll look left the whole way this time. The pass is caught along the near side by Nick DeAndrith, and DeAndrith is brought down at around the 18-yard line. A pickup on that play of 11, but it's still 4th down and about 11 for the Hempfield Spartans.
And I think Walters saw the way that Jamon Dunn was playing defense. It almost looked like he really wasn't paying attention to DeAndrith, and Walters recognized that immediately. DeAndrith ran a nice 10-yard and comeback, and there was a flag on the play.
Yeah, so the entire play negated. So instead of 4th down and 11 at the 19-yard line, it will be 3rd down and a mile. The ball back at the 42. The line to gain is the 7. Walters, he's going to have to tuck and run here, running to his right, trying to cut back to the left. He's tackled by Jawan Hill as it gets to around the 35-yard line. So a pickup of 7 there for the Hempfield quarterback, and it is 4th and long. Again, the line to gain is the Woodland Hills 7-yard line. The ball sets at the 35.
Yeah, Walters immediately decided to tuck and run after number 10 DeAndrith wasn't open. Jamon Dunn had him shut down, and everybody else in the secondary was doing a great job as well.
Trips right, one receiver to the near side left. Washington settles to the right-hand side of Walters. Walters, he'll roll to his right. He's going to throw the football down that right side, and the ball is in and out of the hands of a Woody High D-back back there. On the coverage was Derek Caraway, and I think Caraway maybe consciously dropped that football after he initially had it in his hands, because if he did so, that really saved the Wolverines a lot of yards. It'll be 1st and 10 on the turnover on downs at the 35 instead of inside of the 10-yard line.
Yeah, and if that's actually what happened, that's a great heads-up play by Caraway. Basically saving your team almost 20 yards in the process.
Penalties and a couple of big defensive plays, and now it just looked like Caraway had it knocked away at the last moment by Clark Peterson. And the turnover on downs gives Woody High the football again at their own 35 with 38 seconds to play in quarter number 1. Handoff, Joe Elshaw running right. He has a crease into open field as he tries to cut left. He's brought down inside of Spartans territory, right around the 48-yard line. And a pickup on that play of 17 yards, and it's 1st and 10 for the Wolverines.
And it's kind of a good news, bad news situation for Hempfield. Good news is Woodland Hills didn't score a touchdown. The bad news is Joe Elshaw's got a whole head of steam picking up 1st downs on his first carry.
Clock winding down towards 20 seconds to play here in quarter number 1. Woodland Hills on top of Hempfield 14-0. Adam Gusky, Fred Guy on the call for you here in the opening round of the WPIAL playoffs. Sidecar to the right of Deron Cooper, trips to the left of the formation. Play action, Coop, he's going to step forward. Picks up some positive yardage inside of the 45 to the 44-yard line. A pickup of about 4 for Deron Cooper, and that will be the final play of quarter number 1. We head to the second frame with the scoreboard reading. Woodland Hills 14 and Hempfield 0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Set to begin quarter number 2 here at the Wolverena. Woodland Hills 2nd down and 6. The football at the Hempfield Spartans 44-yard line. I want to thank the Woodland Hills Football Boosters Association for their sponsorship of today's television broadcast. Without their generous donation, our TV broadcast would not be available for our viewers on the delayed broadcast. Handoff, Joe Shaw running right, cuts it back left, inside of the 30-yard line to the 25 to the 20, still on his feet as he's brought down inside of the 15 around the 14-yard line, and Joe Shaw with a pickup of about 31 on that carry.
Excellent. I mean, it really didn't. Woodland Hills really didn't do anything spectacular on that play, but basically just a run right up the middle. The offensive linemen were able to get a hat on the hat in terms of the defense. And then Joe Shaw, once you get him in the open field, I'm really surprised he was brought down by number 20, Anthony, on that play from around the shoulders, because usually that doesn't happen.
Just a great grip there by the D-back for Hempfield. Finally brought Joel down at that 13-yard line. Shaw 2 carries for 48 yards. As the Wolverines in the pistol, Cooper's going to keep it. Running right, trying to cut it back left as he's brought down inside of the 10 around the 9-yard line. The officials will say he's actually down at the 10 for a pickup of 3. And Coop 2 carries for 7 yards today.
And I like the fact that Coop is able to tuck the ball and run. He had some pulling offensive linemen coming around to the right side. Just made a nice decision to tuck the ball and keep going, and picked up some nice yards on first down.
8 carries, 63 yards last week for Cooper on the ground. And Coop, the Woodland Hills QB, just 1 completion last week. Or 4 completions, 1 of note. The other ones were dump offs to backs, and the backs did the rest. As a flag comes in prior to the snap against Woodland Hills.
Dead ball. Snap infraction. Offense. 5 yards. Replay. Second down.
What happened there, in all likelihood, is the center, Lamont Spratley, picked up the football in the process of setting it back down. There's some tricks centers can do to try to draw the defensive line off as well. Squeezing the ball, flinching it just a bit, and if the umpire isn't watching, you can certainly do more and more of that as the game progresses. Cooper looking left, throwing left, the pass complete to Jamon Dunn. He'll carry it into the end zone for the Woodland Hills touchdown, and Woodland Hills on top 20-0.
And that's really what I wanted to see out of this Woodland Hills offense, is for them to start using the vertical passing game. We know that they're pretty good with the dinks and dunks to the backs, the wide receiver screens and whatnot, but if you're going to go far in the WPIAL playoffs, you really need to get your passing game going, and it has to be a vertical passing game at that.
15-yard touchdown pass from Deron Cooper to Jamon Dunn. Dunn his 2nd touchdown of the football game. Sullivan Foley on to attempt the point after touchdown. Snap behind Whitehurst, but he'll spin it around, get it down, and the kick up and in for Thomas Sullivan Foley. And with 10:29 to play in half number 1, it's Woodland Hills 21 and Hempfield 0. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Beautiful night in western Pennsylvania. 63 degrees for the first Friday in November. An unbelievably warm week here in Turtle Creek as the Wolverines lead the Hempfield Spartans 21-0. And Fred, thinking back to our days in high school football, I never, ever remember a fall with such beautiful weather like we have had thus far this season.
I can't say the same. I do remember my senior year, we played Central Catholic here on a Saturday afternoon. It was 70 degrees. Unfortunately, I did not finish that game because I was concussed and in the hospital.
Wait a minute. So you remember that game?
I remember the first part of the game, I should say. Yeah, it was a clear, great sunny 70-degree afternoon. It was senior rec day, and from what I remember, it was clear and very nice.
Yeah, but from what I recall, the rest of that season wasn't quite what we've seen so far this fall.
Oh, absolutely not.
Ball to the near sideline on the kickoff, where it'll be returned by Nick DeAndrith, and he is brought down as he crosses the 20 out to the 21-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for the Hempfield Spartans.
Excellent tackle by Mac Hoots on that last play. And there's a name that we really haven't called much in the last couple of weeks. Started out early. He was very Mac Hoots was on fire in terms of offense, having some nice catches. Lately, I guess he hasn't really seen much playing time for whatever reason.
Hempfield starting this drive at their own 21. They started their last drive at the 22, carried the ball inside of the Woodland Hills red zone before some penalties and some good defensive plays by the Wolverines. Back the Spartans up. So first and 10 here. Again, the ball at the 21-yard line for Hempfield. The quarterback, Walters, He'll run his way to the right-hand side, picking up positive yardage out towards the 28-yard line. A pickup of about 7. And Tariq Thompson on the stop for the Wolverines. Thompson well on his way to being our State Senator Jay Costa Defensive Player of the Year. He has just been everywhere for Woodland Hills this year.
Yeah, it seems like every time he comes up with an interception, it's always at a key moment in the game, and it always seems to be in the end zone.
That pickup, DeAndreth now in positive yardage rushing as the ball down on the turf. The handoff was intended for Don Washington, but he and Walters couldn't get the exchange cleanly, and Washington had to fall on the turf and cover the football up back inside of the 25 at the 24. A loss on that play of 4 yards.
And I'm not so sure if that wasn't Washington being on the spot. It looked like Walters bobbled the snap, and then as he was coming, Washington was coming across, he just fell on the football.
That appears to be the case as we look at the replays. The pass to the near sideline on 3rd down and 7 is incomplete. The pass intended for Nick Shade, and the punt unit will come out for the Hempfield Spartans.
And that's a great defensive series for Woodland Hills after, the first couple, kind of went their way, but Hempfield was able to pick up some nice yardage at times during that drive, but Woodland Hills right now just shutting it down.
Daniel Walters will punt it away. And the punt is blocked by the Wolverines. It's loose on the carpet down here along the near sideline at the 15-yard line. Hempfield will cover it up at that spot, and Woodland Hills will have the football deep inside of Hempfield territory.
And I'm surprised this hasn't happened earlier with the way that Hempfield sets up their punt team. There's only about 2 or 3 guys in the middle of the field. Everybody else seems to be spread out. And Woodland Hills, as fast and as big as they are, I knew at some point that a punt was going to be blocked by Woodland Hills, and certainly didn't come in an opportune time for Hempfield.
See it hold amongst the Wolverines back there near the punter. So we're not exactly sure who got the hand on it, but we do know that it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills inside of the Hempfield red zone at that 15-yard line. Cooper in the shotgun. Sidecar to his left is Miles Sanders. Trips to the right. Play action as Coop drops back. Looks right. Has time. Now flushed from the pocket. He'll dump it off to Joel Shaw. And he'll cross the goal line for a Woodland Hills touchdown. 9:07 to play in the second quarter, and the Wolverines on top by 27 points.
So used to Joel Shaw taking the ball out of the backfield. Nice to see him split out as a receiver, and then really did a great job of, once he saw that Cooper was in trouble, just found the soft spot in the Hempfield secondary, sat himself down, and Cooper made a nice pass and Joel Shaw for the touchdown.
Got to give Cooper a lot of credit here, especially for how he was able to resettle himself as he was flushed to the right. He had Shaw open, and Joel certainly made his presence known down there, putting up his big arm, caught the ball at the 1, and then fell across the goal line for the touchdown. PAT by Sullivan Folier, rings off of the right upright, no good. And with 9:07 to play in the second quarter, the score remains 27-0, Woodland Hills leading Hempfield. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Woodland Hills 27, Hempfield 0. With 9:07 to play here in quarter number 2, the Wolverines have scored once on a punt return for a touchdown, once on a 76-yard carry from Miles Sanders, and the Wolverines have gone to the air for the last 2 touchdowns, both covering 15 yards. First time Cooper to Jamon Dunn. This time it's Coop to Joel Shaw. And Fred, what's so impressive again is how Cooper was flushed from the pocket to his right-hand side, was able to resettle himself and find Shaw at the 1, and then Joel just backed his way into the end zone.
And actually, Woodland Hills had 2 receivers in the same zone, which kind of, stymied the safety for Hempfield. Didn't know which guy to cover, but made the wrong choice either way, because Woodland Hills did a great job of getting in the end zone. Jordan
Kempka on the return for the Hempfield Spartans. A flag comes in late on the play as Kempka is brought down after he crosses the 20-yard line. We'll have to check in with our referee, Wayne Mattis, for this call, as the flag will settle at the 25-yard line. Again, Mattis, our referee.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Returning team, 10 yards, first down.
That'll back up Hempfield from their own 23 back to the 13-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10. Just under 9 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
Hempfield right now shooting themselves in the foot. you're trying to get some points on the board against a very stingy defense, certainly getting a 10-yard block in the back penalty is not going to help you.
Shotgun formation as Walters has Washington to his left-hand side. Washington will take the handoff, trying to run right, but he'll be met in the backfield. A couple of Wolverines back there. And at the bottom of the pile, it looks like Joel Shaw got the first arm. And a loss on that play of about a yard back to the 12 brings up 2nd down and 11. An offensive lineman for Hempfield slow to get up.
Yeah, you're going to see Tariq Thompson at the bottom of that pile, too. Did a great job of really, it was actually a run blitz because it looked like as soon as the ball snapped, Tariq Thompson just took off and really muscled about 2 or 3 people in the backfield before getting to the ball carrier.
You're right, that was Thompson, not Shaw. The 2s and 7s on these new uniforms for Woodland Hills, as well as the 8s and 9s, have been frustrating all year long. But we'll get used to them as time goes on. Walters in the shotgun again with a sidecar to his left in Washington. Twins to the right, as Washington now will settle to the right-hand side of Walters. He's pressured as he runs to the right. They'll dump it off, and the pass in and out of the hands of the receiver around the 20-yard line, Nick Shade, and the incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 11.
Man, it looked like Shade had a chance for the catch. He just came up kind of lame.
They're going to say he caught the football?
Wow.
Where?
I guess the ball on the turf didn't indicate an incompletion.
That was a blatant incomplete pass.
Even Shade thought he missed the ball.
So the completed pass out to the 23-yard line.
Oh, my. Wow.
And a timeout called by the official on the far sideline. Fred, we've seen some egregious calls over the years, but I have never seen anything more blatant than that.
The ball bounced on the 20-yard line out of his hands. I don't understand that. And we have the advantage of replay, too. So
we didn't need replay. Everybody in the stadium knew that was an incomplete pass. There'll be a pickup of 10 on the phantom completed pass. The ball just was completely incomplete. I mean, there's nothing about it. Walters running to his left-hand side. He's got the first down for Hempfield as he crosses the 25 out to the 26-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it is 1st and 10 for the Spartans at the 26-yard line. I still can't get over the previous play. $53 yards passing for Walters, who has completed 3 passes to Nick Shade. 2 for real, 1 not so much. And now Washington will be the ball carrier. He'll carry the ball out towards the 28-yard line where it is 2nd down and 8.
And good job of Peyton Hicks of making that tackle, really just staying home and watching the play develop before he set his sights on Washington for the tackle.
Washington now with 4 yards in total as he has done it the hard way on 8 carries. Walters in the shotgun. Sidecar to the left. Walters throws to the right. The pass really complete this time to Shade, and he'll be dumped down close to 1st down yardage. Derek Caraway makes the tackle for the Wolverines, but not before a pickup of about 10 yards out to the 38-yard line.
Good job of Shade of actually running off Caraway and then coming back for the ball. Walters really is a really efficient quarterback. He's done a great job so far today. He just really needs to keep his team in it, keep their heads in it, and try to get some points on the board before going into halftime.
Shade, a little pump and go. Derek Caraway on the interception along the near sideline. Shade on the tackle, but Caraway with the pick, and he's one of those unsung heroes we talked about a couple of weeks ago. That kid just makes plays for the Wolverines.
He does. He really does, and it seems to come in and very opportune times for Woodland Hills. And just as I was praising Walters for his efficiency, he goes ahead and throws an interception. And they looked like they tried to run a pump and go, but he really threw the ball a little too early, I thought, without letting your wide receiver get any separation.
So Woodland Hills will start this drive at the Hempfield 45-yard line. Offensive line from left to right: Rickard, Clark, Spratley, Terrell Gray, and Eric Mitchell. Mitchell, who had a great game a week ago. Motion man Shaw from left to right. Handoff. Miles Sanders. He'll bounce it to the right, inside of the 40, inside of the 35, off to the race to the 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown, Miles Sanders, and the Wolverines extend their lead to 33 points.
Again, Miles Sanders really just took the ball right from Cooper, found the lane, and just ran right to the end zone from that lane. Really didn't have to make too many people miss because everyone was blocked. And what I really liked was the kickout block by Joel Shaw, who just flattened, absolutely manhandled his blocker.
2 carries, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns today for Miles Sanders. Not a bad average.
No, not at all.
Thomas Sullivan-Folio will attempt the point after touchdown. And the kick is up, and that kick is good. And with 6.5 minutes to play in the first half, it's Woodland Hills 34 and Hempfield 0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. (34-0), Woodland Hills leading the Hempfield Spartans. 45-yard touchdown run for Miles Sanders. 2 carries, 121 yards, and a pair of TDs for the future Penn State Nittany Lion. And Fred, quite frankly, the offense just cannot be stopped at this point.
No, they are running roughshod over Hempfield, unfortunately, because it seems like the offense for Hempfield is doing a pretty adequate job. Right now, offensively for Woodland Hills, they are just firing on all cylinders right now.
Kick by Thomas Sullivan-Folio carries inside of the 15 down to about the 11-yard line, where it'll be returned again by Jordan Kemka. And Kemka will get out towards the 20 before being driven back by a gang of black jerseys. And on the tackle for the Wolverines, amongst others, was Brendan Siopa. And it is, again, first and 10 for Hempfield. They'll stay at the 20.
Against this Woodland Hills kickoff team, what you need is really just ice water in your veins. It looked like Kemka didn't have that. He had some happy feet, which enabled a speedy kickoff team for Woodland Hills to get down there very fast and make a nice tackle.
Walters, shotgun, sidecar to his right. Walters, he's going to run to the right-hand side. Trying to bounce it outside, and he's tracked down by Jawan Hill in the backfield. They'll say that Walters got just shy of the line of scrimmage.
Now, I want to know what the side judge over here, closest to us, was looking at, because Miles Sanders was accosted on that last play. Absolutely held. Jersey, everything that you could think about was held on that play, and there was no flag at all.
Accosted, huh? Oh, yeah, you can see it blatantly there. But still a nice play by Jawan Hill. And a loss of about a half a yard inside of the 20. Trips left, 1 receiver to the near side right, as Walters will motion Washington out to an empty set. Washington to the right. Again, that trips to the left. 5:33 on a rolling clock here in quarter number 2. And Walters, he's going to tuck and run to his left-hand side. He's across the 20, across the 25. Tackle on the play by Tariq Thompson. Also in on the stop, Carlos Blanco Garcia. And a pickup of about 7 out to the 27-yard line, brings up 3rd down and 3.
I don't think Walters is going to last very long if he keeps taking shots like he did from Peyton Hicks on that last play.
So 3rd down and 3 after that 7-yard carry. And yeah, it was Thompson who got the tackle, but Hicks with the big hit, like you said, Freddie. Trips left, 1 receiver to the near side right. Sidecar to the left of Walters is Washington. Motion man from left to right. He'll crab and settle. Washington takes the handoff. He's got himself a hole over the right side, but it closes quickly. And as the closing speed of Tariq Thompson brings the back down just shy of the 1st down marker, the officials will credit him with the 30-yard line, though, and it is 1st down and 10 for the Spartans.
And that was a nice read by Tariq Thompson, actually, and Damon Johnson as well. Were able to read the play right from the get-go, and really holding Washington, which we thought might have been a bigger game, to just, a couple of yards.
Sidecar to the right-hand side of Walters. There's the motion to receiver in. The ball is bobbled around, and Walters will gather it in, and he's chucked to the turf by Saeed Holt. And Holt in the backfield again. He did it so many times last week against Penn Hills. He does it here today against Hempfield.
And I think Holt was looking at the quarterback more so than the ball, because that ball was being bobbled around by Walters, but it looked like Holt had Walters in the crosshairs and decided to go for the tackle instead of the ball.
Loss of 7 on the play, back to the 23-yard line. The line to gain is the 40, so it's second down and 17 as the clock winds under 4 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Woodland Hills on top of Hempfield, 34-0. Woodland Hills shows blitz. A high snap, handoff to Washington, and he is brought down right around the line of scrimmage. Down at the bottom of the pile, Tyrell Barlow. And it is third down and 17. No gain there for Washington.
Good job of Woodland Hills of, despite them having the pass blitz on, not being sucked in and falling for the handoff.
2 receivers right, 3 to the far side left. Walters all alone back there. Good snap this time. Walters pressured as he releases the football. It's caught across the middle by Isaiah DeAndrith, and DeAndrith will be brought down as he crosses the 35 out to the, I don't know how he got to the 38-yard line, but that's where the officials will say his forward progress carried him to. And that completed pass gives Hempfield fourth down and 2. On the pickup of 15. And Woodland Hills breaches the neutral zone. This time it is Demir Johnson, the 5'11", 280-pound senior.
Encroachment, defense, 5 yards. Result of the penalty, first down.
Well, the generous spot, notwithstanding, it would have been a first down either way. So instead of first and 10 at the 41, where the spot probably should have been, it will still be first and 10 for Hempfield at the 43. Pump by Walters, and he will be wrapped and brought down. Sack in the backfield by Peyton Hicks, back at the 38-yard line.
Peyton Hicks is having a well of a game so far in this first half. He's just really been disruptive in the backfield for Hempfield pretty much the entire night.
Loss of about 5 on the play, second and 15, Hempfield.
Quarterback Walters in the air today, 78 yards passing. He'll have his full stats at halftime. Halftime coming up in a minute 45 seconds. Woodland Hills on top by 34. Isaiah DeAndrith motions, then settles in. The handoff to Washington. He's brought down in the backfield. Terrell Barlow on the tackle back at the 35-yard line. And a loss of 3 on that play brings up third down and long.
Barlow and Hicks again in the backfield on that play. These guys are just really coming off the edge and beating up the tackles for Hempfield pretty much all game long.
So third down and 18 for Hempfield with the football at their own 35. The line to gain the Woodland Hills 47-yard line. Trips left, 2 receivers to the near side right. Woodland Hills with a 4-man defensive front. Straight drop back by Walters. He looks left. He's pressured as he runs to the right-hand side. The pass to the near sideline, in and out of the hands of Damon Johnson. He nearly had the pick, but Jawan Hill ended up knocking it away. And the incomplete pass brings up fourth down and 18 for the Wolverines.
And Jawan Hill is a player that we really didn't talk a lot about during the regular season, but seems to have come out of nowhere. And it seems to be around the ball a lot, but unfortunately for Woodland Hills, they couldn't come up with the interception, but, forcing Hempfield into a punting situation.
Yeah, Jawan Hill a week ago broke up a nice pass by Billy Kistner along the sideline as the Spartans will punt it away here. Walters will get it away. Miles Sanders will retreat over the shoulder catch on the fair catch at around the 29-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for the Wolverines.
Miles Sanders, fair catch at the 29-yard line.
Woodland Hills, they'll start this drive with the long field ahead of them, 71 yards from pay dirt. 42 and a half seconds remain in the second quarter.
I'm trying to think if Woodland Hills is just going to kneel on the ball for the next 42 seconds or try to put some more points on the board by, again, utilizing the passing game, because it's really been effective so far in this first half.
If it were up to me, I'd try to get one more score on the board so you go into the second half in the modified timekeeping system. Sidecars to either side of Deron Cooper. Tight end to the right of the formation. Hand off. It'll go to Avram Abramovitz, who runs to the right, and he'll carry the ball across the 30 to the 34-yard line. It appeared to be Abramovitz, but I can't really make out the number. No, it's 18, the ball carrier, Kevin Wilson. Wilson, 5'7", 187-pound fireplug of a tailback.
And that's a name we haven't called at all this season, especially from the running back standpoint.
A gain of 5 on that play brings up second down and 5. That will be the final play of half number 1. We will head to halftime. Woodland Hills leading the Hempfield Spartans 34-0. Well, Fred, in review, basically the Woodland Hills defense bent on one drive. Other than that, they have stymied the Hempfield offensive attack, and the Woodland Hills offense has been virtually flawless.
Yeah, they really have. They've just done a great job of really muscling the defensive front seven of Hempfield, and just when you get the ball in the hands of Sanders and Shaw, and you get those guys in the open field, it's really tough to bring them down, and then usually they'll find them in the end zone.
Folks on the radio side, stay tuned for the Woodland Hills Football Network halftime show. On the television side, we will be back with the second half. Again, your halftime score, Woodland Hills 34 and Hempfield 0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
We are the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Since 1987, we've been a part of some of the most electrifying football games in Western Pennsylvania, and we've established a national reputation of excellence. Whether you're a former player, a Woody High alum, a parent, or a fan, you're part of our Wolverine family. And now you can join us by becoming a part of our new booster club, the Wolverine Nation. Visit WHFBA.org and see how your donation can help our student athletes while earning you unique benefits. We're more than just a booster club. We are the Wolverine Nation.
We have a winner in tonight's 50-50 round.
Back as we get set for the second half. Woodland Hills on top of the Hempfield Spartans 34-0. Today's television broadcast brought to you by the Woodland Hills Football Boosters Association. Come on out on Thursday evening and support Thursday Night Wings as it returns to the Wolverena again, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. this upcoming Thursday. Great flavors and a great night here at the Wolverena, and all the proceeds, of course, benefit the Woodland Hills football program. And you know, Fred, can't overemphasize the fact that Woodland Hills looks so good in half number 1. Goals for the second half, number 1, get another couple of points on the board, get you into the modified timekeeping system. Number 2, get out of here injury-free.
That's the biggest key, is staying healthy, going into what we presume will be the quarterfinals. And we've seen, you know, situations like this where games start to get out of hand. You leave players in a little bit too long, and, you know, injuries occur. Let's just hope this isn't the case this time around.
At last check, it was the Bethel Park Blackhawks leading the Kiski Cavaliers 21-7 near halftime. And if that score holds up, Woodland Hills will take on Bethel Park next Friday night. Site to be determined, but in all likelihood it will either be at Baldwin or at West Mifflin. So, you know, of course, Woodland Hills, a familiar opponent, a team out of the Southeastern Conference in Bethel Park that we saw come into the Wolverena and give Woodland Hills virtually all they could handle.
Yeah, and they gave him fits with the passing game as well. I mean, Levi Matheny is a 4-year starter, 0-4 against Woodland Hills. You know, I mentioned he wanted to get that win against the Wolverines before he graduated. Now he might have a second opportunity to do do that.
Yeah, that game, again, will be next Friday night at 7:30. It will either be against the Kiski Cavaliers or the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Again, approaching halftime, it was Kiski trailing the Bethel Park Blackhawks 21-7. Elsewhere in the WPIAL playoffs, pretty much everybody was holding chalk. Though there was a close football game in the 3-14 matchup as Pine Richland led Penn Hills by just 7 points around halftime. And, if I were to pick a upset headed into the first round, that would have been my upset choice.
Yeah, I mean, Penn Hills is a really solid team, good defense, great team speed, and I'm sure, with the exception of Central Catholic, there's not a lot of, overall team speed that matches Penn Hills, with the exception of probably Woodland Hills.
Taking a look at the WPIAL Quad A rankings brought to you by the MSA Sports Network. And this pretty much is the top 10 in the WPIAL playoffs. Woodland Hills, number 1, 9-0. Penn Trafford, number 2 at 9-0. Pine Richland, the 3rd seed, ranked number 3 at 8-1. North Allegheny, the 4th seed and ranked 4th at 8-1. Pittsburgh Central Catholic sits at number 5 with a record of 8-1. Mount Lebanon, also 8-1, the runners-up out of the Southeastern Conference. We talked about Penn Trafford already out of the Foothills Conference. Another team out of the Foothills is McKeesport. They sit at 8-1. They're ranked 7th in the WPIAL. Bethel Park is 8th with a record of 6-3. The Kiski Cavaliers, the number 9 team in the WPIAL Quad A, at 5-4. And Seneca Valley out of the Northern 8 rounds out the top 10 with a record of 5-4. In the final Southeastern Conference standings, Woodland Hills the champs. Perfect 7-0 in Southeastern Conference play. We talked about Mount Lebanon. The runners-up at 6-1. Bethel Park rounds out the regular season 5-2. The third-place team out of the SEC. Upper St. Clair 4-3. They get the 4th spot out of the Southeastern Conference headed into the playoffs. The final playoff qualifier out of the SEC is Penn Hills at 3-4. And we already talked about them giving Pine Richland some fits in the first round of the WPIAL playoffs. Peters Township finishes the regular season 6th at 2-5. Cannon Mac 1-6 in SEC play, and Baldwin winless in conference 0-7, and they finish the regular season 1-8. Woodland Hills will receive to begin half number 2. It's a 34-0 football game as we are back underway here in Turtle Creek. A low bouncing kick that'll be returned by Peyton Hicks, and Hicks goes sky high before he is brought down, crossing the 40 to the 42-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wolverines early here in quarter number 3.
I'm looking to see what the personnel is for Woodland Hills, especially in the skill position, running backs and quarterback.
So Deron Cooper will remain at quarterback, at least for the moment. First down and 10 for the Wolverines. Woodland Hills breaks the huddle with the starting offensive line out there. And I think 12 men in the huddle for the Wolverines, and Woodland Hills will start the second half with a penalty. Wayne Mattis, our referee, we will check in with him and get the call. And the penalty will back the Wolverines up back to the 37-yard line after the illegal participation or illegal substitution rather, for the Wolverines. 1st and 10 at the 37. Twins to either side. And around. Handoff. Carrying the ball is Jermaine Wynn, I do believe. And Wynn will carry the ball across the 45 to the 46-yard line. A pickup of 9 for Jermaine Wynn on the end around.
Yeah, good job of Jermaine Wynn really being patient and following his blockers on that first down play.
So Wynn, his first carry of the football game. And a pickup of 9 for him. It is 2nd down and about 6. The line to gain is the Hempfield 48-yard line. Cooper straight drop back, looking right to the trips of the formation. The pass is low and it is incomplete. Diving to the turf, trying to catch that one, I believe, was Jermaine Wynn. And that will bring up 3rd down and 6 for the Wolverines.
And it's probably a good thing that Jermaine Lynn didn't come up with that catch, because it was basically thrown at his feet. And had he caught the ball, I don't think he'd have been able to regain his feet and would have fell down probably for a loss.
Yeah, had he caught that, it would have been back near around the 44, maybe the 43, so it would have been a loss of 2 or 3 yards. So it's 3rd and 6 now after the incomplete pass. The first incompletion today by Deron Cooper. Twins to either side. Cooper the sidecar to his right-hand side. Hicks motions from left to right. He'll take the end around, tries to cut it in, cuts it back out. Now he's going to reverse his field, and he'll be brought down in the backfield as the Hempfield Spartans sniffed that one out. A good deal of Spartans. And back at the 41-yard line as Hoots is brought down there. A loss of 5 brings up 4th down and 11.
Yeah, I thought if Mac Hoots would have been able to get away from that first defender, he had nobody on this side of the field, and would have got at least the 1st down at minimum.
I think I said Peyton Hicks at first, but it was Mac Hoots on the end around for that loss of 5. First negative rushing play of the game for Woodland Hills as the ball is booted away by Thomas Sullivan Folia. And his punt is down by Stephen Rickard at the 36-yard line. It's the first time we've seen Sullivan Folia punt this season. And wasn't the best punt of the year, but it is effective, and it will be 1st and 10 for Hempfield at the 36-yard line.
And Woodland Hills is going to keep their first-team defense out on the field for at least the first couple of series to start the second half.
Especially until Woodland Hills would take this into the modified timekeeping system. Two receivers to the near side right, one to the far side left, as Washington will carry the football. And on Washington out to the 40-yard line where he'll pick up 4 yards, and it's 2nd down and 6 for Hempfield.
And certainly Hempfield doesn't have all day to continue to run the ball and eat up the clock, especially you're playing for your playoff life. You're down by 34. Certainly running the ball in between the tackles, getting 4 yards down isn't going to really help you out.
Washington now with 11 carries for 10 yards. As Walters will hand off to Washington again, and he'll drive his way forward up towards the 50-yard line. He's down at the 48-yard line, a pickup on that play of 8 yards, and it's 1st and 10 for Hempfield.
Good surge by the offensive line of Hempfield, really pushing around the front 7 of Woodland Hills, giving Don Washington an alley to pick up the 1st down.
So Walters gets the play from the near sideline. The Hempfield Spartans in their own white uniforms with the royal blue numerals and the royal blue helmets with the Spartan logo on both sides. Walters straight drop back. He's pressured, hit as he releases the football, but the pass is complete to Nick Shade, and Shade retreats, and they will say that his retreat stopped at the 46-yard line. Had he not been retreating, it probably would have been a Hempfield 1st down. Instead, it's a pickup of about 6 yards.
Yeah, I think the way the ball was thrown, he really didn't have a choice. He had to come inside and then tried to loop around. Loop to the outside, but once he tried to loop, Woodland Hills in terms of defensively were right there.
Now he did catch the football at the 44, so ultimately his voluntary retreat costs the Hempfield Spartans 2 yards. Hand off Washington. He's got the 1st down here as he runs to the near side right. Forced out of bounds by Derek Caraway, but not before a Hempfield 1st down at the 35-yard line.
And what you mentioned earlier in the broadcast is the fact that Washington is 1,000-yard, actually he's 1,100-yard back for Hempfield this season, and I can see why, because he's very fast. Once he gets to the edge, unless you have that edge sealed off, he's gonna make you pay.
29 yards on the ground today for Washington on a dozen carries. Tight end and a wing to the left of the formation. And it's going to be Walters carrying it this time, trying to run right, but he's tackled by Tyrell Barlow 1 yard deep in the backfield, back at the 36-yard line, and it is 2nd down and 11.
And Barlow's having a whale of a game so far for Woodland Hills on defense. Seems to be in the backfield disrupting the offensive rhythm of Hempfield every chance he gets.
Second and 11 with 8 minutes to play here in quarter number 3. Woodland Hills on top of Hempfield 34-0. First round of the WPIAL playoffs. Tight end to the left of the formation. 2 receivers to that side left as well. Walters, straight drop back, looks right now, and the pass is intercepted by the Wolverines. On the pick is Chris Wilson, and Wilson running from left to right across the grain to that far sideline. Tries the stiff arm. He will be brought down as he crosses the 35. There's a flag on the field, but it comes after the change of possession. So regardless of who this flag is against, it'll be Woody High football.
Great job of Wilson really setting up the quarterback Walters, and once Walters threw the ball, he basically undercut it and made a nice interception.
Check in with our referee, Ray Mathis.
After the ball was intercepted, holding, returning team, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Second interception today by Woodland Hills. This pick by Christopher Wilson. Had a decent return, but a good bit of it negated by the penalty.
First and 10, Woodland Hills after the interception.
The interception happened at the 16-yard line. He took it out to the 36, but after the penalty, it's just a 10-yard return for Wilson, where it'll be first and 10 for the Wolverines as they start this drive at their own 26.
And Walters threw into a group of Woodland Hills defenders. There was one Hempfield receiver surrounded by at least 5 that I could count Woodland Hills defenders.
Twins to either side, motion man from left to right. Instead, the handoff will go to Kevin Wilson. And Wilson will barrel his way forward across the 30, out towards the 32-yard line, a pickup of about 6 for the bowling ball tailback.
Yeah, and Wilson's one of those, rarely mentioned seniors for Woodland Hills. They had, 32 of them at senior rec a couple weeks ago. And just it's nice to see that Coach Novak giving, spreading around the wealth, so to speak, to some of the running backs that haven't gotten a lot of playing time so far this year.
Well, we saw Peyton Hicks come in Miles Sanders' stead, and Peyton has moved into a slot back position, and he's playing defense, so I think it makes sense to start to give this young man, Kevin Wilson, some carries, and you can see why there is again he runs into open field out across the 45 to the 49-yard line where it's a Woodland Hills first down.
Yeah, Wilson just being patient and following his blockers, and once he gets to that second level, he's got a little bit of speed that so we're kind of surprised by, because he was able to get upfield and pick up a first down. 17-yard
carry there for Wilson, who now has himself 28 yards on 3 carries. Twins to either side as Deron Cooper sets in the shotgun sidecar to his left. Still the starting offensive line on the field. Handoff. No, Cooper's going to keep it himself. Tries to dance his way around a couple of white jerseys, and then he will be driven back. He gets his forward progress back to about the 48-yard line, so it'll ultimately be a loss of 1 for Coop, who now has 3 carries for 6 yards. A far cry from last week, where Cooper eclipsed 60 yards rushing.
Yeah, it's one thing that the Hempfield defense can take some pride in, is the fact that they have been able to, keep Cooper in check in terms of his ball fakes and him running the ball today.
29-year head coach George Novak manning the far sideline, watching his team, who leads Hempfield 34-0. Pass to the near side, complete to Mac Hoots. He'll carry the ball into Spartans territory, where he goes end over end to the 49-yard line. They'll say that actually Hoots was stopped at the midfield stripe, so a pickup of just 2 for Mac Hoots, and it is third down and 9.
That's the first time that I can recall that seeing Mac Hoots take a pass that wasn't a just post pattern or something down the field, but really did a good job in open field, making one person miss, picked up a nice block, and then was upended by number 9, Kepka.
So third down and 9 for Woodland Hills. The ball at the midfield stripe. Trips right, 1 receiver to the near side left. Cooper in the shotgun. Sidecar is Wilson. Cooper, straight drop back. Looks right the whole way. Throws the pass intended for Jermaine Wynn there, incomplete. And it is 4th down and 9. And the punt unit will come on for Woodland Hills.
And these are some of the things that Woodland Hills really needs to work on is, again, vertical passing. Trying to figure out what you're going to do if your first and second options aren't open, try to the third and fourth. Or, Coop has done a great job of just really tucking the ball and running.
So The punt unit back on for the Wolverines. Thomas Sullivan-Folia will punt it away. Creek Thompson late to run on. He will set at the right guard spot here on the punt unit. Good snap by Rickard, and Sullivan-Folia gets this punt away, an end-over-end punt. It will take a nice Woodland Hills bounce inside of the 20, carrying down towards the Hempfield 15-yard line, and it will finally die at the 14, where it'll be first down and 10 for the Hempfield Spartans.
And Woodland Hills really got lucky with the roll on that one, because initially when it came off of Sullivan-Folia's foot, I didn't really think it was a good punt, but was able to pick up a nice bounce, pinning the Hempfield Spartans deep in their own territory.
So the ball will be set again at the 14-yard line, where Hempfield will have the long field. Twins right, one receiver to the far boundary left. Sidecar to the right of quarterback Daniel Walters. He's pressured as he throws the ball to the near side. The pass is complete to Isaiah DeAndrith, and he is hammered out of bounds along the near sideline as he crosses the 20 out towards the 21-yard line. A pickup of about 7 on that pass play to DeAndrith. That is his third catch of the football game.
Again, Hempfield's going right to the no huddle, keeping the substitute Wolverines on the sideline.
91 yards in the air today for Walters. He has thrown a pair of interceptions. Walters, 2 receivers left, 1 to the near side, right stands at the numbers. He'll hand off to Washington, who runs to the right. He'll be brought down in the backfield, a loss of about 1, as the tackle made by Carlos Blanco Garcia. And it is third down and 4 after that loss of 1.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Did something happen to Miguel Cobbs last week that caused him not to play today? Wasn't sure if there was an injury last week, because I haven't seen him at all today. But the substitute Wolverines are doing a great job of, keeping everything pretty much at bay.
Clock winds to 3 minutes and 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 3. Woodland Hills on top by 34 points. Pass on the near side right is complete by Ty McAleese. And McLeese's reception out to the 28-yard line, a pickup of 8 yards, and it's a first down for Hempfield.
Good job of McLeese getting to the lead stick and knowing exactly where he needed to go to get that first down and making a nice catch from Walters.
Walters now with 99 yards in the air to go along with a pair of INTs. Tackle on that play made by Chris Wilson. Walters, he'll hand off. Washington running right, trying to cut it back left. He's got some greenery in front of him as he's brought down after a pickup of about 9 across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
And again, Hempfield getting back to their bread and butter. Really, it's just running in between the tackles. They've done a great job so far against Woodland Hills in terms of just keeping the ball in between the tackles and picking up positive yardage when they can.
So second down and 1 for the Spartans. The football set at their own 37-yard line. This drive starting at the Hempfield 14. Tight end to the left, wing to the left of the formation as well. Receiver split to either side. Now the wing motions from left to right and settles. Handoff, Washington. He'll run to his right-hand side. He's out across the 40, forced out of bounds along the near boundary. Near the 45-yard line at the 44. And the pickup of 7 yards, and it is a first down for Hempfield.
And I think the referee might have missed a hold on Damon Johnson, who did a great job of recognizing the play immediately, making a good run blitz, and then was basically tackled as he was trying to get to the ball carrier.
First down and 10 for Hempfield. The football at the 44-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 to the near side right. Handoff, Washington Hill. No, it's going to be Walters keeping it as he throws to the left-hand side. The pass is complete to Isaiah DeAndrith, but a nice open field tackle by Jawan Hill, and it's a 1-yard loss on the play, and it's second down and 11.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Hicks or Holt that was applying pressure to Walters, but Walters did a great job of fending them off and hitting his receiver. But like you said, a great open field tackle by Jawan Hill, recognizing the running back coming out of the backfield.
Twins right, 1 receiver to the far side left. Walters sets with Washington to his right-hand side. Just over 2 minutes to play here in quarter number 3. Walters looking right the whole way. The pass is complete. Open is Nick Shade, and Shade eludes one Wolverine and is brought down by the second, but not before he picks up a first down at the Woodland Hills 46-yard line, a pickup of 11 on that pass play.
Yeah, good second effort by Shade of, again, knowing where the lead stick was and making sure he got to that point to get the Spartans a first down.
6 catches for 69 yards for Nick Shade. Wing to the left, receivers to either side. Woodland Hills shows blitz. Handoff goes to Washington. He'll run right. He'll be brought down by Michael McAllister, but not before a pickup of about 4 yards inside of the 45 to the 43-yard line.
You know, if Hempfield had shown this life in the first half, I'm sure the score wouldn't be 34-0 right now. They've come out with a renewed sense of, you know, just excitement against this defense, and they're doing a good job, man. It's showing.
48 yards on the ground now for Washington, who had just 4 yards in the first half. Walters, play action, running right, retreating now. He's going to throw the football to the near sideline. The ball doesn't cross the line of scrimmage, and there wasn't really a receiver in the vicinity, but I guess they say the ball was close enough to Nick DeAndrith to negate the potential intentional grounding, and the incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 6.
And great job of Peyton Hicks coming off the edge, really setting up his offensive lineman and getting in the face of Walters, and then taking a hit by Saeed Holt.
3rd and 6. Walters in the shotgun, Twins left. Straight drop back. He's pressured. He's wrapped. He'll retreat now. Running to the left. Now he's going to try to cut it back, and he is shouldered to the turf by Saeed Holt. Also in on the tackle, Michael McAllister, back at the 46-yard line. A loss of 4 on the play, and it is 4th down and 10.
And good job of Saeed Holt of not giving up on the play. Once he initially pressured Walters and got him on the move, he was able to come back and make the tackle against Walters.
Walters now with minus 5 yards on the ground, though he has thrown for 109 yards in the air. Today's broadcast brought to you by the Woodland Hills Football Boosters. Our TV broadcast proudly sponsored by the generous folks at WHFBA.org. A punt that will be scooped up by the Wolverines at the 11-yard line, and that return man down the far sideline off to the races. It's Jamon Dunn, and Dunn will be shouldered out of bounds along that far boundary. Out near the 40-yard line, they'll say he steps out at the 39, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Wolverines. And quick thinking by Jamon Dunn turns the field a bit. Instead of 1st and 10 at the 11, it'll be 1st down and 10 at the 39.
Yeah, I think everyone thought that Jamon Dunn might have called for a fair catch. I didn't see one, and it looked like everyone was starting to slow up. At least everyone, I mean, by the Hempfield Spartans, started to slow up as they got to him. But once Mr. Dunn picked up the ball and got a full head of steam, really changed the field for Woodland Hills offensively.
14 seconds remain in quarter number 3. Woodland Hills with this 34-point advantage. Twins to either side. New quarterback in there for Woodland Hills appears to be Tyrese Robinson, and he will hand off to reserve tailback Kevin Wilson, who drives his way across the 45 to the 47-yard line. A pickup of 8, and it is 2nd down and 2.
I think that might be Jaquan Smith that ran the ball in that last play.
You are correct. Jaquan Smith, the tailback on that previous play, not the tailback Kevin Wilson, and that is the final play of the 3rd quarter. We head to the 4th frame. Woodland Hills leading Hempfield 34-0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Back in Turtle Creek, where Woodland Hills leads Hempfield 34-0 as we head into the 4th and final frame in the first round of the WPIAL playoffs. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. 2nd down and 2 for the Wolverines. And as the final play of the 3rd quarter was a 8-yard run by Jaquan Smith. Tyrese Robinson, reserve quarterback. Motion man is Amir Cobbs. Instead it will be Jaquan Smith, who's off to the races inside of Spartans territory. He will be brought down ultimately at the Hempfield 36-yard line, and a big pickup on that play into Spartans land.
A touchdown saving tackle made by number 23, DeAndreth. And if it wasn't for him, Smith had a full head of steam coming through the line of scrimmage. Great job of Robinson with his play fakes to Amir Cobbs, and then giving the ball off to Smith, and tremendous first down run.
Jaquan Smith now 2 carries for 25 yards and a stoppage on the field as the officials were pretty slow to move the chains. Also, a extra football was out there on the field. Starting O-line still out there for Woodland Hills. Again, from left to right, it is Rickard, Clark, Spratley, Mitchell, or Gray, and Mitchell. Twins right, one receiver to the far side left. Handoff, that'll go to Jaquan Smith, and Jaquan Smith drives his way forward. A gain of about 9, and that brings up 2nd down and 1.
Jaquan Smith is really running hard. He was able to lower the shoulder against number 2 from Hempfield, and that was Connor Walters. Basically barreled him over on his way to a 9-yard pickup on first down.
Clock continues to wind here as Woodland Hills has this 34-point advantage. 2 receivers right and 2 to the left of the formation. Shotgun, Tyrese Robinson has a sidecar to his left in Jaquan Smith. Smith, no, it's going to be Robinson. He'll run left. He's got the first down. He's inside of the 20, inside of the 15, inside of the 10-yard line. He'll be brought down around the 8-yard line, and a big run for the reserve QB.
Yeah, good job of really reading the defensive end on that left side of the left side for Woodland Hills. Didn't see that there was anybody out there, and just basically pulled the ball out of the belly of Smith and then ran right around left side.
Pickup of 19 yards on that carry for Tyrese Robinson. Robinson in the pistol. Twins left, 1 receiver to the near side right. Jaquan Smith, the tailback. Handoff. Jaquan Smith inside of the 5. He'll drive his way down towards the 1-yard line. He'll be brought down just shy of the end zone.
Nice vision by Jaquan Smith, seeing that there was nothing to the outside. Saw a little bit of a cutback lane, and then once he hit that lane, he was able to get close to the goal line.
So 2nd and goal for the Wolverines. The football at the Hempfield 1-yard line. Play run in by reserve tight end Deontay Robertson. Robertson, one of the 3 basketball players on the Woodland Hills football roster. Robinson, another one of those. Avram Abramovich, the 3rd.
I think you might be missing one too, Adam.
Handoff. Jaquan Smith drives his way to the goal line, and he is stalled, and it is 3rd down and 1.
Did you mention Joel Shaw on the basketball team?
Well, I mean guys that played basketball exclusively who then just joined the football team this season. Joel Shaw has been a 2-sport athlete for Woodland Hills since day 1.
Gotcha.
I think Joel Shaw is a football player that plays basketball. The 3 guys I mentioned are basketball players that play football this year. No gain on that previous carry, incidentally, for Jaquan Smith, who still has 41 yards on 6 carries. 2 receivers right, 1 to the far side left. Tyrese Robinson in the pistol. He'll hand off. Smith has a hold of the left-hand side. He'll carry it across the goal line for Woodland Hills touchdown. And with 8:33 to play, it's Woodland Hills 40 and Hempfield 0.
Yeah, Jaquan Smith just took the ball from the left side from Robinson, and then had two blockers ahead of him, ended up pulling guard, and just did a great job of following these blockers right into the end zone.
1-yard touchdown run caps off a nice drive for the Wolverines. First team O-line, but reserves by the specialists. And a nice way to cap off the evening for the Wolverines on that 1-yard touchdown run for Jaquan Smith. PAT by Thomas Sullivan Folia, up and in, and it is 41-0. Woodland Hills leads Hempfield with 8:33 remaining in quarter number 4. When we return, we move to the modified timekeeping system. We're tuned into the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. This game and the broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the listening audience, and any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent of the WPIAL, MSA Sports, or the Woodland Hills Football Network is strictly prohibited. 41-0, Woodland Hills leading the Hempfield Spartans. 1-yard touchdown run by reserve tailback Jaquan Smith puts the exclamation point on this football game as we shift to the modified timekeeping system. 8:33 to play in regulation. End over end kick by Sullivan Folia down to the 10-yard line where it'll be returned by Washington. Washington finds a crease, running to the near side right, and he will be brought down, but not before crossing the 45 out towards the 48-yard line. Sullivan Folia and Derek Caraway combined for the tackle.
And I thought Washington had a better lane to the inside than he did to the outside. I guess he didn't see it. I thought had he hit that inside lane, I think he might have gone for the touchdown.
Number 14, Trayvon Robertson, near the 47.
So first down and 10 for Hempfield. The ball set at the 47-yard line. First team O still out there for Hempfield. A smattering of reserves in there defensively for the Wolverines. Handoff, Washington bouncing it right, but he will be undercut as he takes the handoff. Peyton Hicks makes the stop 2 yards deep in the backfield. It's a loss of 2, and it's 2nd down and 12.
Again, Peyton Hicks really making his presence known at defensive end. And I'm sure that's probably to give Joel Shaw a little bit of a break, but man, he's done a great job at replacing Joel Shaw on that defensive line.
Receivers to either side. Walters, he's going to tuck and run. He's got a hole over right tackle. It closes up quickly as Peyton Hicks makes the ankle tackle, but not before Walters picks up positive yardage inside of Woodland Hills territory to the 48-yard line. A pickup on that play of 7 yards.
And you can tell there's no quit in number 4 for Hempfield. He's doing whatever he can to get his team at least on the scoreboard before the end of this game.
Walters, he's going to run left this time. Tries to turn the corner, tries to cut it back now, and he'll be brought down inside of the 45 at the 44-yard line. Seed Holt on the tackle. The Spartans needed 6. They got 5 there, and it is 4th down and 1.
And certainly I don't think Hempfield's going to bring on the punt unit now. You might as well just keep going with it. They've done a great job on this drive so far. All you need is 1 yard to pick up the first down.
7 yards in total on the ground today for Walters. He'll hand off to Washington, who bounces it right. He's got the first down as he carries the ball down towards the 42-yard line, a pickup of 2, and it's 1st and 10 for the Spartans after that 2-yard pickup. Peyton Hicks on the tackle for the Wolverines. 48 yards in total today for Washington, but he has done it on a significant amount of carries.
And Woodland Hills has done a great job of really keeping him in check for the most part during this game. Really keeping him on the inside. Washington hasn't been able to burst anything or really get any long gains at all today.
Handoff, Washington, he springs his way free. Still on his feet inside of the 30. He'll be brought down inside of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And Washington with that carry of 19 yards, and the Spartans are in business.
And I may have spoken a little too soon, Adam. Washington did a great job of really just following his blockers, and then once he hit the second level, did a great job of picking up some more yardage, and Woodland Hills did a great job of saving a touchdown from Washington.
Washington still driving his way forward down towards the 20-yard line, and a hard run there ends with a tackle made by Nazir Taylor, but not before a pickup of 4. And Washington has himself 71 yards the hard way. One receiver right, one to the near side left. Wing to the left of the formation as well. Walters going to keep it himself, running to the right, and he is brought down right around the 15-yard line. A pickup of 5 on 3rd down and 6, and it is 4th down and 1, or make that 3rd down and 1 after the pickup of 5 on 2nd and 6. A 12-yard stay for Daniel Walters. Walters, he's going to hand off. Washington bouncing it left, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown for the Hempfield Spartans, covering 15 yards.
And this is exactly what Hempfield wanted. They didn't want to leave the Wolverena with being shut out. And, you know, the combination of Walters and Washington basically just took the ball right down the field and, you know, pretty much took it to the Wolverine defense on that drive.
86 yards on the ground now for Don Washington. And give him the touchdown there, the first score of the game for the Hempfield Spartans. Kicking off, or rather kicking the PAT, will be Tanner Aston. And Aston, the toe kicker, the PAT, is good. And with 4:35 to play, it is Woodland Hills 41 and Hempfield 7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports, the Woodland Hills Football Network. Hempfield cracks the scoreboard on a 15-yard touchdown run by Don Washington, running from right to left to the near side as he was able to turn the corner, found himself some room, and Hempfield finally scoring with 4:35 to play in regulation. Elsewhere in the playoffs, the game that means the most for the Wolverines, the Bethel Park Blackhawks lead the Kiski Cavaliers 28-20 in the second half. Kickoff scooped up by Derek Caraway, and Caraway will carry the ball out to the 45-yard line before being driven back by a host of white jerseys, and Woodland Hills will start the drive 5 yards shy of the midfield stripe.
Defensively right now, Hempfield just needs to really continue to do what they've been doing so far, you know, in the second half, holding Woodland Hills. I mean, even though Woodland Hills was able to put a touchdown on the board with basically their reserves, offensive line is still the same, but the skill positions were all reserved players. But force Woodland Hills into another punt. See what you can do on offense with your first team out.
Well, Woodland Hills does have a full assortment of reserves out there now along the offensive line, as well as the specialists. As the quarterback, Tyrese Robinson, sets in the shotgun, and tailback Jaquan Smith to his right. Robinson, he's going to pitch it. On the end around comes Lawrence Robinson, heading from right to left, and he'll carry the ball across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Flags come in. 2 flags on the play, and we will check in with our referee, Wayne Mattis, to see what the call is here, but initially just a 2-yard carry for Robinson.
Blocking it back, offense, 10 yards, replay, first down.
So 10 yards from the spot of the foul, which was 1 yard deep in the backfield, so that'll back Woodland Hills up to the 34-yard line. And it is first down and 11. The line to gain the Hempfield 45. Wolverines break the huddle, twins to either side. Tyrese Robinson in the shotgun with Jaquan Smith to his left. Gallister the center, good shotgun snap. A screen set up over on that far side, running with the football out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. On the reception, Avram Abramovitz, and it's a pickup of 2 on that pass play. And if memory serves me correct, that's Abramovitz's first catch since the Shaler game, and a game where he had a touchdown catch.
You are correct. And Woodland Hills did a great job, especially your reserves. They did a great job of setting up this play. I don't think that the pass should have probably gone out a little bit faster, but still a nice play. You know, a nice play despite the high degree of difficulty for the Woodland Hills offense.
Trips right, one receiver to the short side left. Robinson in the shotgun, sidecar to his left is Smith. Looking left the whole way, the pass is complete, and off to the races goes the receiver over on that left-hand side. There goes DeQuay Moore, and Moore fumbles the football inside of the 5-yard line. It's loose on the carpet, and Hempfield comes out of there with it, and instead of what could have been a Woodland Hills touchdown, somehow Hempfield gets the football inside of their own 10.
Just really sloppy ball handling and ball control by Woodland Hills. Like you said, Adam, he was on his way to the end zone for a touchdown, and I think his eyes might have gotten too big and didn't realize there were people around him. And unfortunately for Woodland Hills, a turnover that close to the end zone.
So it appeared that DeQuay Moore was all the way down towards the 1 yard line before he had that ball ripped away by a Hempfield Spartan. And folks, on the television side, you have the benefit of the replay here. The ball was punched a couple of times before ultimately being ripped away. The fumble forced by Jordan Kemka. And then Hempfield came out of there with it around the 8 yard line. And they'll say it actually happened at the 10. And then on the first play on the ensuing drive, it's Jordan Kemka who made the big defensive play, carrying the football for a 9 yard gain. So 2nd down and 1 for Hempfield, the ball at the 19 yard line. Kemka going to carry it again. Running left, he's got the first down before being dumped down by Avram Abramovitz at the 25 yard line. A pickup of 6 for Kemka, who now has 15 yards.
Looks like Abramovitz is doing it on both sides of the ball, making a nice catch on offense and then coming up in run support on defense.
So Hempfield starting this drive at their own 10 yard line late in quarter number 4. The pass complete to the right-hand side. It is Isaiah DeAndrith who will be brought down at the 30 yard line. And the clock will continue to roll, under a minute to play here.
Yeah, and what Hempfield needs to understand, it is a rolling clock. Nothing's going to stop it with the exception of a change of possession.
DeAndrith, that is his 5th catch of the game. For that 5 yard pickup, he now has 37 yards. And now the reserve quarterback, Justin Slowowski, is off to the races, and he will finally be brought down inside of Woodland Hills territory at the 38 yard line. A big rush there for the reserve QB. They'll say he's actually down at the 37. So a play that turns the field from the 30 to the 37, covering 33 yards. Pass complete to the near side. It is Isaiah DeAndrith who will be forced out of bounds along the near boundary by Chris Wilson, and that should be the final play of the football game. So some excitement here late in the game, but still a victory for the Wolverines nonetheless. Woodland Hills will advance to the WPIAL quarterfinals with a 41-7 victory over the Hempfield Spartans.
Yeah, and really Woodland Hills did it in all 3 phases of the game. I mean, the 7 points, let's put it this way, came on reserve defensive players, but offensively, reserve-wise, they were able to put 7 points on the board, so it was kind of a wash. Woodland Hills defensively did a great job against the Hempfield Spartans, really able to shut down their running game. And then the passing game was fairly efficient and fairly successful, but when you have 2 interceptions for your defense, you're doing a great job.
Again, Woodland Hills defeats the Hempfield Spartans 41-7 to advance to the WPIAL quarterfinals. Again, we'd like to thank the Woodland Hills Football Boosters Association for their sponsorship of our television broadcast. Thanks to their generous donation, we should have every single WPIAL playoff game right here televised on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Woodland Hills will take on either the Kiski Cavaliers or the Bethel Park Blackhawks next Friday night. At last check, it was Bethel Park holding an 8-point lead over Kiski in the second half. Should that hold up, Woodland Hills will take on a Southeastern Conference foe for the second time this year, a team in Bethel Park, Freddie, that gave the Wolverines fits.
Yeah, especially with their passing game. Levi Matheny was able to put some points on the board via the pass, and also he's a dual threat. He's able to run the ball when he has an opportunity, but he can light up the scoreboard with his arm.
And should Woodland Hills play Bethel Park, in all likelihood that game will be at a familiar location, probably at Baldwin High School. And as always, we typically see Woodland Hills play teams out of the SEC in the playoffs at Baldwin.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great location, nice facilities, the turf is adequate. Obviously, we like the press box, so not an unfamiliar place for Woodland Hills, especially playing there already once this season.
Well, Fred, let's put a bow on this one, and most notably how efficient the Woodland Hills offense was in the first half. Miles Sanders, he had just 2 carries today for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, and that comes a lot with the blocking that he gets from the offensive line and his running backs. But then again, you put him in open field, you cannot really catch him or bring him down once he gets in open field.
Conversely, the first team defense did very, very well, other than one drive that Hempfield was able to mount, carry the ball into the Woodland Hills red zone, and then ultimately ended up turning the ball over on downs. The Woodland Hills first team D did very, very well against this Hempfield Spartan team, and that is certainly promising heading into the WPIAL quarterfinals.
Yeah, and it came from some unlikely sources. I mean, Peyton Hicks did a really great job putting pressure on on Walters, as well did Saeed Holt. Then you get your usual suspects. The Tariq Thompsons, the Damon Johnsons did a great job, but in the secondaries where I thought they really stepped up. 2 interceptions today. They still let up a good bit of yardage, I feel, but when push came to shove, they were ready to step up to the challenge.
Again, your final score, 41-7, Woodland Hills defeats the Hempfield Spartans to advance to the WPIAL quarterfinals. Folks, on the television side, we will be back with you again next week as the Wolverines will take on either Kiski or Bethel Park at a site to be determined. It will be next Friday at 7:30 p.m. Our coverage, as always, will start at 7:10 p.m. on the radio side. Stay tuned for the State Senator Jay Costa post-game show. For my broadcast partner, Fred Guy, and everybody on the television crew, I'm Adam Gusky. We'll talk to you again next week on the radio side. Stay tuned for the post-game show. You've been tuned into the Wolverines and the Spartans on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.